Hello everybody, welcome back to Starkey Farmstead. I know the world is focused on the uprising of illegal aliens, undocumented people, and Antifa across America, but I want to talk to you about something that I did a video on recently that's basically going viral. And that is this concept of visa workers or immigrant workers coming into America, getting into positions, and then only hiring their race. Now, I want to make this point. I ran across a document that shows you in 2023 all the different jobs, right? Categories that you could have in the United States. And I want to show you how many people work in agriculture that are migrant workers, as they like to be called. Because the left has recently been saying, well, who will pick the vegetables? Who will work in the fields if we get rid of all the migrants? That is one of the smallest categories that they actually work. So statistics do matter, folks. Now, I do want to bring up the fact that in Mississippi in 2023, several black farmers and farmhands sued white farm owners for hiring South African refugees or visa holders and then paying them more money than they were actually paying the American citizen, the black American citizen. And by the way, YouTube demonetized me, so if you want to row in my boat, buy me a cup of coffee, a gallon of gas, or my dog's a treat. Look in the top of comments, send whatever you would like to see more common sense and love like this. I just find this so hypocritical and almost hilarious. Mainly because it wasn't a big deal when businesses are hiring, different ethnicities. But once it began to affect the black population, they began to say, whoa, whoa, whoa. We need to stop this practice. Like, if you're American and you have an American business, you should be American first. You should not be outsourcing a call center to India. You should not be importing Filipino nurses to fill vacancies. Because here's the thing, America, we don't have any reason to be importing migrant workers here. None whatsoever. Statistics show us that we do absolutely have enough people to fill every job position in America. The problem that's happening is once you import migrant workers who almost always will work for less money and hours and jobs that, unions in America have deemed unsafe or inappropriate, these people will fill those positions because it's way better than what it is in their country. We have created a monster. We have convinced people that migrant workers will, quote unquote, do the jobs that no one else in America will do. That isn't true. We have convinced people that migrant workers are just as educated and are so hardworking, and that also is not true. From the comments section under my video, the Filipino mafia in nursing, I can tell you right now that these people are not only less educated, they have no skin in the game. But I'm going to say this, and I personally do not care who I piss off. I'm so sick of seeing black people now freaking out as immigrants move in and take over jobs that they once did and get into positions of power and only hire their ethnicity. Welcome to the white person's world. For the past 50 years, black people have black-owned businesses where they hire only black people. Even though white people shop there, even though white people support you, even though white people cheer you on, you only want to hire black people. And you don't even realize what you're doing. You're doing exactly what all these migrant workers do when they get in America, whether they're illegal, they're on visas, or they're refugees. And I find it very funny that in some of the comments, people are like, but white people have been doing this forever. Oh, sweetheart, if white people were racist, none of you would be in the Western civilization. None of you. Because there is not one brown or black nation that is predominantly brown or black that is considered civilized or industrialized in the entirety of the world. Only white majority countries are those things. And it seems like the entire 8 billion people in the world want to move to predominantly white countries. America, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, the United Kingdom, and all their little, country states over there. None of you want to stay in your countries. You come to our countries and then you have the audacity to call us racist while living on tax money that we pay. After we have funded your countries to the point of we are exhausted with it. Now, this may not be the mainstream media's take on it, but it is the average American's take on it. We don't need you here. I just don't think allowing 30 million illegal immigrants that are unvetted into America in 4 years did us any favors. Look at our country right now. We have had Mexican Americans for the past 80 years passing down generational hate and the misinterpretation that somehow California, New Mexico, Arizona, Colorado, and Texas belong to you guys. It doesn't. It's never going to belong to you. But I just wanted to make this video to show you the hypocrisy, especially black Americans. Listen up. If you guys can't get your heads out of your proverbial butts and stop feeling so victimized about everything and realize that white America has tried as much as we're going to try to help you guys, that the DEI is stopped. Black women, if you're wondering why so many of you are losing your jobs, because you weren't really qualified for that job to begin with. You were just given it to fill a quota. This anti-white rhetoric from people who live in a country that fought to free you from slavery that your own black people put you in is not only ignorant, it's absolutely asinine. Now, all these white countries that all you migrants like to call racist, but you have no problem coming to these countries and living your best life. Thieving, essaying, sexually assaulting, robbing. You know what I'm saying. So if you want to continue by the good grace of America, let me explain to you what's going to happen. You're going to have to behave. Because if these riots continue, our president is going to call it in the Insurrection Act. He's going to release the military. And whether or not you are quote unquote American because somehow someone in your family finally got that American citizenship, with the stroke of a pen, it can be removed from you. And whether or not you've ever been to Mexico or Guatemala or El Salvador or China or the Philippines in your life, there's a very good chance you're going to get sent back there. Go back to your countries with all your amazing education and phenomenal skill sets, like I'm hearing, and build your country if you love it so much. Build it. Because you're basically invaders. See, white people were settlers. We went to places that had almost no populations, and we built things. And then, because we aren't racist and we aren't cruel, when the native population threw a temper tantrum, we gave it back to you. And then you destroyed all of that. And then you began to migrate en masse back to our countries because you were used to a certain level of living that you couldn't get in your country. But now you're bringing your stinking thinking here, trying to destroy the countries that we have and make them like the countries you left. Now, that's not ignorance. I don't know what it is. But please hear me. America's tired of you. And if our president doesn't do it, well, let's just pray he does. Like, comment, and subscribe.